Hi, this is Pastor Joel Webben with Right Response Ministries, and we have a kind of a breaking news emergency broadcast that we wanted to put on the radar for those of you who are listening, who've been following us for a while. One of our partners in ministry is Mr. David Reese, who is the CEO of Armored Republic. He's a Christian man. He's also a local pastor and does incredible things for the kingdom, employing many godly Christian men. And right now, there is an unconstitutional law that's attempting to take place in the state of New York to ban body armor. And so right now, by God's grace, Mr. David Reese and his team are in the process of suing the state of New York for being unconstitutional. And so I'm welcoming on to a brief broadcast Mr. Joseph Brown, who is one of the attorneys for Armored Republic. Joseph, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us, the listener, just a little bit, I gave very brief, but what's the situation? Why does this matter? Why should Christians care? Is it unconstitutional? I took the liberty in saying that. What's your perspective?
Yeah, it certainly is unconstitutional. So the state of New York in 2022 enacted a series of regulations on who can and cannot buy body armor. And it's essentially, it's a veritable caste system under which if you're in an approved profession that includes law enforcement, security guards, journalists, newscasters, building inspection officers, school district administrators, and the like, then you can lawfully acquire body armor because the state of New York in its infinite wisdom has determined that you need body armor. But if you're not in these privileged professions, and if you live, say, if you're a taxi driver in Brooklyn, some of the most dangerous streets in America, well, you're a peasant and you can go eat bugs. And so the state of New York has determined that you don't need body armor for your defense. And so this is a manifestly unconstitutional law. And Armored Republic, we're a company that sells body armor. We make tools of liberty for free men to protect their God-given rights to the honor of Jesus Christ. Amen. And we want to stand up to tyranny, to stand up to unconstitutional excesses, like what the state of New York is doing, and get this invalidated.
Right. So right now you're in the process of levying a lawsuit against the state of New York. So tell us about that. What's that look like? What's the likelihood of being successful in that endeavor?
Yeah, so I would like to think that the likelihood is very high, and we filed the lawsuit about a week ago today, and the lawsuit names as defendants the New York Secretary of State, who is responsible for promulgating these regulations, and the current superintendent of New York State Police, as well as two district attorneys, one in Nassau County and one in Queens County. And both of these DAs have prosecuted people for suspected violations of unlawfully acquiring body armor. And so our lawsuit is based on the Second Amendment. So when people think of the Second Amendment, they always think that the Second Amendment, and rightly so, protects firearms. But that's not what the Second Amendment says. The text of the Second Amendment says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Well, what are arms? We know that it includes firearms. The courts have also told us that it can include stun guns and tasers. But people don't typically think today of body armor when they think of arms. But that was very different at the time of the founding and going back several centuries into English law. So you go as far back as 1181. The King of England instituted what's called the Assize of Arms. It was a law that required all free men to keep and provide arms. And those arms included a helmet, chainmail, certain personal body armor to wear in combat to respond to militia service. And then you see this reimposed by Parliament in the year 1285. This is called the Statute of Winchester. Again, the statute is referring to all of these things that free men were required to keep for the defense of themselves and for the defense of the kingdom, and referred to them all as arms. And then you see the what's called the Statute of Northampton in 1328, which was a statute that prohibited people from going armed to terrorize people. And what it meant to be armed was to be wearing armor to defend to terrorize people. And the penalty for violating this statute was that you forfeited your armor to the king. Well, you would think, well, these are obscure medieval 13th through 15th century arcane laws that nobody at the time of the founding of the American founding cared about. Well, that's not true. If you read, for example, legal scholars at the time like Sir William Blackstone, who our Supreme Court has recognized as the preeminent authority on English law at the time of the American Revolution and the framing of the Constitution, as he is commenting on these historic laws in English history, he's recognizing explicitly that these are arms. And then you look at the dictionary definitions. You look at Samuel Johnson's dictionary from 1755. You look at Timothy Cunningham's 18th century legal dictionary. All of the dictionaries from the 1600s up through the late 1900s refer to arms as including both weapons for offense and armor of defense. And they reciprocally define armor as defensive arms. And our Supreme Court in 2008, in a decision called District of Columbia versus Heller, recognized this. In the effort to define what arms are under the Second Amendment, referenced these dictionary definitions from the 18th century and said that at the time of the founding, the original meaning of the word arms in the Second Amendment includes armor of defense. And so what the state of New York has done has said that if you're in one of these approved elite professions that we like, we will let you keep and bear arms. We will let you have access to arms. But if you're not, then you don't have that right, and that is unconstitutional.
Gotcha. Very helpful. So what can Christians do to help Armored Republic and see to it that you guys are able to win this case? I assume, at the very least, we can pray. Are there any other needs that the average salt of the earth Christian could fulfill on your behalf?
Yeah, we certainly do appreciate your prayers. On our website now, there is actually, if you go to ar500.com, there is a red, I believe it's red, I don't have the webpage in front of me right now, but it's a tab that says contribute to our New York lawsuit. And we are selling patches that say liberty or death to support our litigation. And so if you'd like to contribute to the fight, please support us. Please show your love for us by purchasing one of those contributing patches. But as you say, we really appreciate the prayers for our effort to preserve the rights of free men, to protect their God-given rights.
Amen. So where can the listener go again? What's the website?
I believe it's ar500armor.com. Or it's ar5. Yeah, ar500armor.com.
ar500armor.com. All right. Well,
Correct.
Thank you so much, Joseph. I really appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. Anything else that you want to leave the listener with?
No, I think that's it. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. God bless.